Hello, everybody. It's Cindy here with Stampin' Chick Creations. Welcome to this week's Magical Monday. So it's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here where I am. If you're new, welcome. I am the face behind Stampin' Chick Creations, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based in Brigden, Ontario, Canada. So as you hop on, say hello so that I know that you're here, and let me know where you're watching me from. So again, if you're new, welcome and thank you for joining us. If you are returning, thank you for coming back week after week. I love that you come back and join me for a paper crafting night. We have a different fun fold tonight. It's one I've done quite a few years ago. I do it usually around Christmas time. I don't know why. But it's going to be a really fun one. So as I see people hopping on, I just want to give you guys a couple. Hello, Pamela. Hello, Laren. And hello, Beverly. Those just all popped up at the same time. So I just want you to know a couple things as people are hopping on. I did send out the, hi, Joanne, the retired list for the big book as well as the mini book in my stamping group. So that's my VIP group for my customers. So those are people who have been ordering from me. I will post it onto my page here now, like in the next couple days, but I'm sure you've seen the list floating around from other demonstrators if you follow other people. I actually was able to sit down and go through my book on Sunday, and I almost cried at how much was retiring this time around. Hi, Linda. So we're gonna do a game. We're going to actually have you guess how many stamp sets I'm losing. So I will take a picture of what I have, and then you can guess how many of those are actually going to be retiring. So now, if you look at the list, I just want you to be very cautious. Not every item on the list that is marked, hi Bev, is retiring. Some of the items have asterisks beside them, and that means they're carrying over or being redesigned in the book. I know, Laren, I was like, holy smokes. Like, I was like, I've never seen that much go before, honestly. But I know that the new book has amazing things in it. So I'm like, okay, I can handle this. So some things that are bundles right now, guys, is not going to be a 10% discount in the new book. So if there's any of the items that you were looking at purchasing now that are a bundle and they are carrying over, there will not be a 10% discount on those in the new book. So I would strongly suggest getting it now and save yourself 10%. Just because why pay extra, right? Like, why pay that extra 10%? I just want to make everybody aware of that, okay? I am going to send out my April class list here shortly. I was working on that as well on Sunday, and I'm really excited about the classes that I have coming up in April. I have a lot of classes coming up in April, daytime and evening time options. I'm going to do that for the month of April right now. I can't guarantee that will continue, but for the time being, that's what we're going to do. I am bringing back coffee and a card. So those of you that have missed coffee and a card, where are my coffee and a card friends? I'm bringing it back on a Friday morning. Okay, so I've heard you guys say you wanted it back, and so now I can actually do that because I'm not working. So I thought, well, why not? Let's just throw in a coffee and a card on a Friday morning. So that will be super exciting. I'm really happy about that. It was one of my favorite classes to do. And lastly, there was something else really important I was going to tell you, and it completely went out my mind. Isn't that amazing when that happens? Okay, something completely, it'll come to me. Coffee and a card. Yay, I know you guys are going to love coffee and a card. I know, I'm so excited about it. Oh my gosh, I wish I could remember the other thing was. It was really super important. Anyway, I don't know. It'll come to me. So I will just all of a sudden, like, it was crazy important, whatever it was. Okay, let's get started. So say hello as you're hopping on so I know that you're here. I see lots of friends with me tonight, so that's fantastic. Okay, so let's go and see. Oh, that's going to really bug me. I really wish I knew what I was going to tell you guys because it was super important. Ooh, okay, I don't know. Anyway, must not have been that important, I guess, because I can't remember. It'll come to me at the oddest time. I'm just trying to adjust my camera. I'm not really sure what's happening here. I thought it was perfect, but apparently it's not. Is it really like angled or something? I was kind of messing with it today. Okay, there we go. So I am gonna, yeah, so I'm gonna put out, hi Janet. I'm not seeing comments for some reason. Oh, I'm not sure. Hello, Linda. Jeepers creepers. What was I going to tell you guys? Super, super, super important. It's going to bug me. Okay. It'll come to me. If not, I'll post. Okay, let's get started. And then hopefully it will hit me like a ton of bricks. Okay, I told you that, oh, this is zoomed in really far. Maybe this is part of the problem. Okay, you can see my messy desk, but that's okay. So I told you needed 2 pieces of 4 1/4 by 11, and it scored at 5.5. So this is still a full sheet of paper, right? It's just how we cut it. Normally we cut it this way, right? But we're cutting it this way and then we're scoring this way. So it's still, Coffee and Card is not online, Janet. No, honey, sorry. Because I provide treats for Coffee and a Card. So I go to Petrolia Street Bakery and we get some treats and we have a coffee and some treats and then we stamp with 3 basic cards and it's a super lot of fun. So, yeah, that's the only one I probably won't offer online. Really wish I could tell you what the other thing was that I was going to tell you. It'll come to me. Okay, so I told you that. I told you a piece of Designer Series paper that's 5 1/4 by 4. Okay. And then I told you you needed, I hope I told you needed a piece of white 4 by 5 1/4. And then, oops, that's not the color I wanted. I told you a belly band that is 1 inch by 11-ish. Okay, it doesn't have to be bang on perfect. So the one thing I will tell you is that you do not have to have this belly band. I like the belly band. I prefer to use the belly band for the other 2 cards that I'm using. Hi, Susan. Hello, Tina. Welcome. Hello, Judy. I think I have everybody there. Okay. You do not have to use this belly band. However, and it was funny because I posted a belly band with the measurements and I realized that not everybody knows what a belly band is. So we're going to talk about a belly band. The belly band I'm going to use for my other cards are a little bit shorter, and that's okay because I'm going to show you how we make that work anyway. All right. Goodness gracious. I really wish my mind was a little bit better these days. So if your paper's directional, we're going to have to be cautious on that. So just keep that in mind. And I told you needed a focal point. So when I say focal point, this is what I'm talking about. I'm saying something that's going to go in the center of your card. So I'm using 2. So I'm using the Knight of Navy. This is the deckled circles. And then I'm using the white deckled circles. And they just layer on top of each other. Okay. And then, so my focal point, and then I said a stamp set, obviously ink. And then a paper trimmer is the other item that I told you that you needed to have. All right. Are we ready? If you've been with me for a while, you've seen this card. This is not a new card for you, but I love this card. And I thought, why not bring it back? Because we have lots of new people, right? Okay. So I want you to take one of these pieces of cardstock. Now, is the lighting okay? Can you see? Do I need to bring this in a little bit more? Just let me know. I know what it was I was going to tell you. I remembered. Finish It Friday, friends, is this Friday night. I know it's Good Friday. I didn't know that when I booked it because, of course, I book it so far in advance, so I wasn't paying attention. But Finish It Friday is Friday night. So if you would like to join us, please be sure to let me know. Hi, Sandy. I'd love to have you join us. So I have got, Yvonne will tell you if she's on, that I have got so many things I have to finish. And I'm really going to focus on my finishing stuff this time instead of cutting for classes and that kind of thing. So if you'd like to join us, I'd love to have you join us. It's on Zoom. You can bring whatever you want. It does not have to be paper crafting. It can be painting. It can be knitting. It doesn't matter. Okay. Yes, Linda, Zoom. Okay. Yeah, definitely Zoom. So yes, we need to get caught up, you and I, because I'm missing you. So, yeah, so I hope you can join us. I know it's Easter weekend. It's also my daughter's birthday. It's my mother-in-law's birthday this week. It's a very busy week, but I need to finish it Friday. So hopefully you can join me. Okay, let's get started. That was what I wanted to tell you. Whew, now I feel better. Okay, so you have your card stock scored here at 4 1/4, or sorry, at 5 1/2. Time on Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, and then we usually stay till about 9, 9:30, 10, whenever everybody's tired and wants to go. I usually by 10 o'clock, I'm like, I need to go to bed. I'm old. I need to go to bed. I might turn into a pumpkin. Okay, so here is my 5 1/2 score line. So it's basically, it's half a card, right? It's no different than what we normally do. So what I would almost suggest to you is fold on your score line so that if you're using a dark color like I am, so that you can see your score line. So what we're going to do is we are going to cut a diagonal line from this corner here. So where your score line is, this corner, the top left hand, and we're going to go down to this corner, which is the bottom right hand. Okay. So I'm going to put this into my paper trimmer, and this is very important that you, yeah, I would imagine you'd have a few things to get caught up on. I have some stuff for you as well. So that's going to give you even more stuff to get caught up on. Okay, so here's my score line. Can you see that? I'm going to cut from this diagonal down to this corner. So top left corner to bottom right corner. Okay, and I'm going to put this in my paper trimmer. I'm going to make sure it's just perfect. Hold my breath the right way. And I'm going to cut. Okay, this is what I have. This we do not need, so you can put that to the side. You can use it for something else. Okay, now I want you to do the exact same thing to this one. And I know some of you who have done this with me in the past are like, oh, you got to turn your angle and you got to cut the other direction. Da, 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 da. Yeah, you probably do, but at the same time, we can just keep this simple tonight. We're going to cut them the exact same, and we are going to make this work. Okay, so let's put this back into our paper trimmer. We're going to do the exact same thing. And we're going to cut from the top left to the bottom right. This we do not need. We're going to put this to the side. And then we have this. Okay, I'm going to move my paper trimmer to the side for a second. So this is what we have. Okay, we have two pieces that are exactly the same. And you're thinking, oh, and how in pray tell are we going to make a card out of that? Well, this is how we're going to make a card out of that. We are going to take one of these, and I don't care which one, you guys decide. And we have them laying the same direction here. See, they're exactly the same. Let me move these out of the way so we don't confuse ourselves. Okay, exactly the same. I'm going to take this bottom one, just because that's the one I'm going to pick. And I'm going to fold it the opposite direction. And I'm going to burnish it with my bone folder. If you do not have a bone folder in your craft space, you need to have a bone folder. You must have. It's a must have. It's like with your take your pick tool. It's a must have. Now the other piece I'm going to fold this way. Oh, sorry. That's not what I want to do. I want to fold it back. Sorry. So what we're going to do is we have one folded so the triangle is on the left and one where the triangle is on the right. Okay, so you have two pieces and the triangles are going the opposite direction. There's probably a mathematical name for this. Don't ask me. I don't like math. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are actually going to layer these two solid pieces on top of each other. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue this. So while I'm doing this, I always forget to ask this. How many of you are crafting with me tonight? Words are very challenging today. And how many of you are watching? And I'm going to get a drink of water because I'm very, very thirsty tonight for some reason. And then my next question is, how many of you have made this card before? Watching. Okay. Because that way I know how fast and slow I can go. Watching, crafting. Beverly's crafting with me. Just making a template. Perfect. Okay. Watching, not tonight, just watching. Okay, watching. just make a template. Crafting, watching, trying. Yes. I think I have. Linda, I think you have too. Janice just watching, and Becky has. Becky, I know you have. Bev, I'm pretty positive you have as well. Crafting from South Carolina, made it before. Yes, you are, darling. And I'm sure you have done this. Yes, and watching. Okay, so for you guys, it's not going to be a new technique, but it's a great refresher. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my glue. Now, I know some of you go, well, you don't use a lot of glue. This is the only time I probably will use a lot of glue. And honestly, if you wanted to use tear and tape for this, you absolutely could. So you are going to layer that on top of each other. Okay. You just want to make sure that can fold, and that definitely will fold. Okay. So there is a couple things we can do at this point. I can go ahead and I can fold this down and glue this and make it into a pouch. Well, actually we have to cut our paper first, or I could leave this so that when my recipient receives the card, this is how the card opens. And then it would actually sit like this. Okay, so I was going to do mine as a pocket fold card, which is like this. And like I do this card at Christmas. I don't know why only at Christmas. Isn't that funny? This is my go-to card for Christmas cards for some reason. So I can do it this way, or I could just leave it opened. And so when they receive the card, it opens like this, which is super fun. Okay, so before I proceed, because I always forget to do this part, and then I move ahead, and then I go, oh, I should have done that. I want my designer series paper. Now, if your card is directional, you really want to pay attention to this. We're going to cut a diagonal line from corner to corner. And because that's just how math works and shapes work, we're going to have to use the back side for one of the pieces. So I'm going to put this in my paper trimmer, and I am just going corner to corner. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to put one piece here. Okay. And I'm going to put the other piece. So I have to use the back side to make sure the angles work, right? Is going to go here. So I really need to decide which part do I want showing forward and which part do I want showing backwards. So I really do want this piece on the inside because it's not as pretty. Let's be honest. These foxes here are just adorbs. Okay. Absolutely adorbs. So we are going to, I'm going to do mine this way. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue down my paper. Now, when I do this card, I like to go all the way to the edges because this is the card that you do not want the corners to fold over. So Bev, my paper also is directional. So the front side of it is directional. So you just want to make sure that you've cut it at 5 1/4. So if your pattern is going this, okay, let me do it this way. Hang on. So my pattern was going this way. So I cut 5 1/4 this way and then by 4 because my foxes are going this way. I hope that makes sense. Okay. And then I'm going to put, excuse me, this one is going to go here because this is really the most beautiful side. Hi, Chris. Hello, Kathy. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and put this glue. And not very often you see me use this much glue, but for this type of card, I will. I feel like I got like 5 hands today for some reason. I just like tripping over myself. I don't know what's going on. What do they say? All thumbs? Is that like a saying? Okay, so again, too late. Okay. Well, you know what? Nobody will really notice, I'm sure. So again, I could keep this card just like this and put the inside in, glue my inside into my card, like into here, and I would be done, minus my belly band, right? Or I can go ahead and I can glue this. So if you're using tear and tape, you want to get very, very close to the bottom of the edge without going over. And the reason is, if you make your pouch here, if you put the glue down and you're closing this up, let's say we're gluing it, it's going to be a pouch card. This will not fit in here. Okay, because the glue will stop it, so it will stick out a little bit. So we may have to trim down this piece. We'll just have to see how well I do on my gluing part. Which the way my brain is today, probably not all that amazing. Okay, so I'm going to try to get as low to the end as I can. And I don't want a thick amount of glue on there because I don't want it to gush out. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put this one down. And I'm going to have to hold that there for a second because I want to make sure that it adheres. And I'm using my silicone mat. Again, if you don't have a silicone mat in your paper crafting world as a standard craft supply, you should have one of those. So a couple things you most definitely should have is a bone folder. The other thing is your take your pick tool, which I hope I didn't leave mine out in the living room, which I might have. I thought I brought it in, but maybe I did not. My take your pick tool, which, oh, it's right here in front of me. Got any closer, might bite me. Your take your pick tool is a must have, and a silicone mat is an absolute must have. Okay, so this is now adhered down pretty nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply my glue. So what does the silicone mat do? It keeps your surface clean, essentially. There's a million things you can do with it, but it's great for gluing surfaces because then the glue doesn't really stick to it because it's silicone, and it makes cleanup really nice. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to push this down and I'm going to hold it here for just a second and make sure. Lisa, hello. You finally found me. I've been here the whole time, honey. I come here every Monday night, sometimes multiple times in a week. Okay, here we go. So I noticed you guys are all watching me on Facebook. There's nobody watching me on YouTube tonight, which is interesting to me. That's very interesting. I'm just going through. Everybody's watching me on Facebook. Cool. Okay. So here's my card. So now I can tuck this in. I'm going to show you okay, actually, it doesn't look bad. So because I went very, very low to the bottom of my card, my insert actually fits in there very nicely. Okay. So now at this point, I can do two things. I could probably do more than two things, but let's say I'm going to do two things. I'm going to take this belly band, and belly bands are just really like a great way to kind of hold your cards in place, but they're also just like aesthetically pleasing, right? So now I know some of you like to score and measure and all these things. I don't. I just kind of eyeball things. So I'm just going to fold this over, and I'm going to use my bone folder to crease that. And then I'm going to put that there. Now in this case, this belly band's not going to come off. In some cards, we use the belly band to hold the card, so you don't want to make the belly band too snug. This one, it doesn't matter. But you're going to notice, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but there's a gap there. And so my belly band doesn't quite fit all the way to connect, and that's okay, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my circle, and I'm going to use that to cover that up and to hold. Okay, and then I will put my sentiment on top here. All right, so let me put this to the side for a second. I'm going to do some stamping here, and I'm going to actually do this I'm going to do this as a thinking of you. Do I want to? I feel like I need a birthday one. Okay. I'm just going to do it as a thinking of you. Just because I just don't really feel like going to find a million stamps tonight, if you know what I mean. I'm just going to use what I have close by. Sometimes I want to find the right sentiment, I want to find the right font, and I want to find the right, I'm not in that mood tonight. So, okay, using my glass mat. So there's my thinking of you, and I had my Misty Moonlight actually, I noticed is starting to dry up a little bit, which again, I've had it in different temperatures. So, and don't forget that our some of our ink colors are retiring. So if you love the ones from 2022 to 2024 colors, Sweet Sorbet, Parakeet Party, Tahitian Tide, Orchid, Oasis, and Starry Sky, you need to jump on those because those are retiring and you need the ink refills if you don't already have them. If you joined my ink color club, you have them, or you should have them. But if you did not, then you need to have those because those will be very, very hard to find later on. And your ink pads dry out and you won't have the refills for them. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. That's the front. I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to just put a little bit of glue here and a little bit of glue here. I'm going to just realize this is kind of crooked, but it doesn't matter. Okay, I'm going to put my circle down and I'm just going to hold this here for just a minute because what I need to do is I need to make sure that that glue adheres. Actually, what I could do is that while I go ahead and I clean my stamp with my stamp cleaner. Okay, and I'm going to put this back into my stamp set. And this in here and there. Okay, I'm done with that one, so I'm putting that over there. Okay, so now I'm going to take some dimensionals. Oops, daisies. And I'm going to actually pop these up because you know me and my pop-ups. I love pop-ups or dimensionals. I could actually own shares in the company. I'm pretty positive. Okay, I feel like we need something here. I'm going to actually do this. I know it doesn't really go, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to stamp this in Misty Moonlight in the corner. I know that doesn't really go with like the box and the leaves and stuff, but just to kind of give it a little bit of funness. Funness? Is that a word? It is tonight. Okay, put that in there. Come on. Okay. There we go. So now if I take my card and I slot it in here, now what could I do here to make people know that they have to pull this? Because some people don't know, right? If you send this to a non-paper crafter, they're like, how do I get the card? How do I get the card out, right? I could actually take like a circle and I could fold it in half and I could like glue it here so that they know to pull, right? Like, I don't know why the circle seems to let people know that they have to pull. I guess it's not intuitive enough. Like I'm the type of person, I would go pull something and see if it comes out. But so that's card number 1. Okay, super simple, great, fun fold. Very, very easy too. All right, so you know the second one that I'm going to do is going to be, this is the daisy paper. Now the daisy paper is retiring, which causes me all sorts of sadness. Because I love the daisy paper, but I'm not surprised because it has some ink colors in it. So papers, for example, guys, do not wait to buy your papers. I was on YouTube and just moved over. Oh, interesting. Okay. Don't wait to buy your papers or your embellishments because they are going to sell out extremely quickly. Okay, so if you're just joining me, let me back up the bus here a second. 4 1/4 by 11, right? So it's still a full sheet of paper. We scored at 5 1/2. I'm going to line up my 5 1/2 in my paper trimmer, and I'm going to cut from the score line up here right down here to this corner. So on a diagonal, and I'm going to do that to both. I don't know why all of a sudden I'm like extremely, just got a wave of like exhaustion. Okay, and then it's probably past my bedtime. I'm going to do the exact same thing here. Okay, so now I have 2 triangular pieces, and I'm going to fold. So what I could do is just flip it. So they're both like this. I could just flip one if that's easier for you guys to figure out. Then I'm going to take my glue, and I'm going to go all the way along here. So you could use tear and tape for this as well, if you would rather. Tear and tape's an awesome adhesive. And then I'm going to line these up with the score line and line it up at the top. So make sure everything is even, Oh, what is happening tonight? Even Steven. Okay, now it's causing me grief tonight. Okay, there, I think. Blech. Okay, I think we got it. Okay, and then I'm going to fold and burnish. Fold and burnish. Okay, and then I'm going to take my... All right, have fun, Janet. And then I'm going to take my daisy paper, and I'm going to use this side as one. I'm going to use this side as the other. This one's a little bit wild, like a little wild, a little not me, but we're going to do it anyway. Okay, so I'm going to put this in my paper trimmer, and I'm going to go angle to angle, so corner to corner on a diagonal. And I'm going to make sure that the daisy part is, oh, jeepers. I'm so sorry. I did totally not mean to hit you guys. The daisy part is going to be on the front. So I'm going to put this one here. So we will go ahead and put the glue onto this paper. Like that. I'm going to just take, there we go. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, I wish my fingernails, like, I got to take this stupid nail polish off. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put this down. Oh gosh. What is happening tonight? This one's causing me, okay, there. Okay. I was like, this one's causing me grief. So put your designer series paper on first before you glue. Hello, Sharon. So that you don't forget to do it. Okay, and then we're going to go like that. So this one's a little bit wild. But I like this paper. I'm not keen on the back side. Like this side here, not my favorite. You guys know me. I'm a very simple black and white type patterned person. So anything that's out of the ordinary, I just balk at. Okay. So there we go. And then we can go ahead and put our adhesive down on here. So just very thin at the very, very bottom, as close to the bottom as you can get it, without gushing. Do not like put too much down, because then you end up with adhesive all over. So I like to use the liquid glue for that, because I find then you can get a very fine layer. Whereas if you use the tear and tape, which I have used, it's thicker. So I can't get all the way to the bottom. Well, I can get to the bottom, but then my card sticks out, and then I'm trimming down my cardstock and all the things. Okay. And just give that a second to kind of stick. These are really pretty cards. Okay, now what do I need to do? I'm going to just take this. I'm going to put this in here so it reminds me. See how pretty that is? Okay, now this piece here, so I told you 1 inch by 11. This one is not 1 inch by this one. Let me see. It's by 8.5. But I didn't want to cut a whole sheet of paper for like a 1 inch piece off it. So I'm going to actually, I may not even use the belly band on this one, to be quite honest. We'll see. Yeah, it's too far out. So I won't even bother using that. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to, and I'll probably do the same on the next one because it'll be the exact same thing. I have pre-cut this piece, so I'm not even going to bother with the belly band. I'm just going to go ahead and put this down. Okay, and I'll pop it up, like I'll pop up all the things. And then we will, I'm just going to see which one I want to use here. Oh, that's too small for a second here. Thank you. Here's to beautiful, but nothing fancy. I might just do a thank you on this one. So something fancy, the stamp set is retiring. FYI. This is that one that has these beautiful dies. I might have cried a little bit when I saw the list. So we'll have a contest. I'm gonna take a picture of my stamp shelves, and I'm gonna have you guess how many stamp sets I'm losing. Person who comes closest will win a prize. How about that? Does that sound good? You know what? I was actually going to do this in Pretty Peacock, but I think I'm going to do this in Crushed Curry. What do you think? Crushed Curry is the color right here inside the flower. I could use ribbon. Melinda's making a card with me now. Hello, Mimi. Welcome. I could use ribbon, but honestly, okay, I know you're going to find this really hard to believe, Diane, because I have like a million rolls of ribbon. I don't actually have a ribbon that matches this. I don't. So you could definitely use ribbon, but I don't have anything that will coordinate with this nicely. So I'm going to see if this actually, oh boy, this one has to be re-inked. Okay. You're going to, oh, I don't know. I can't use that one. Okay. So that's an old ink pad or re-inker, and this is a new ink pad. So we are going to have to go back to plan B, which was actually plan A. I can't use that Crushed Curry because I need to order a new re-inker for it. So I don't know how many of you guys know that you cannot put a new re-inker. I know, Lisa, but that's the problem. Love my hoodie. It's a Stampin' Up! Hoodie, Maddie. You can actually order this hoodie on the Stampin' Up! Website. You absolutely can. I've actually seen people, so you can see the flowers. You see the flowers? I've actually seen people color those with fabric markers. I've seen, actually my friend Tamara took hers and had somebody cut it down the center and made it into like a jacket as opposed to like a pullover, which is not a bad idea because it's actually kind of hard to get over your head. It's a little bit tight, but. So I would suggest ordering, if you're ordering one, order a couple sizes bigger than what you normally would, because I actually couldn't even wear mine for a long time because I didn't fit into it. It was so small. It was like a lot smaller than I expected. Okay. So I'm going to do this. My fingers are not working today, and it's really frustrating. I did not want to use, I don't know where my crappy scissors are. Oh, here, we can use these ones. I have found my paper snips in my bag today. I've been looking for my paper snips forever. So I don't really want to use them on my cards. I try to use one pair of scissors for glue and one pair of scissors for ribbon and one pair of scissors for paper. Please tell me everybody else does that too. Look how simple that is. Right? I really wish I could do this in crushed curry, but I have to order a new refill. So yeah, so you can't use new refills on old ink pads, and you can't use old refills on new ink pads, if that makes sense. Which is, I know people say, oh, that's silly, but it's the way that the formula is done in the ink, because the old ink pads were fabric. So like this is an old one, Melon Mambo. It's one of my favorites. You can see it's very loved. It's fabric based, so the ink absorbs into it differently than our foam based ones. So, okay, number 2. Okay, last but definitely not least, my friends, is, you knew I had to pull out the lavender paper, right? So I'm excited to say that the lavender paper is carrying over into the new book, which never in my 19 years, I don't think I've ever seen that happen before. So I'm very excited to say that this lavender paper is carrying over. So if you have not ordered it, don't panic. I mean, it might sell out, which I can't help you with that, but it is carrying over. Anything that has an ink color in it that's retiring, the paper will retire, and the ribbon will retire, and the any embellishments with it will retire. So keep that in mind as you're shopping. So I am able to order the catalogs April 4th, I believe. So I will, if you have put your name onto the sheet that I put out the other day, I will order you one. If your name is not on that sheet, I will not order you one. Catalogs are very, very expensive to purchase, so I'm cutting back on how many I'm purchasing. So please make sure that if you really are interested in getting a hard copy in your hands, that you complete that form. Because I'm only ordering what I need this time. I'm not ordering extras, because like I said, they're very expensive to purchase when I'm ordering the quantity that I'm ordering. So I don't mind giving you one by any means. But a lot of times people just take them and they don't even look at them. So just want to put them on their coffee table. Okay, so, which this one you probably want to put on your coffee table because it is so stinking beautiful that I think you're gonna be shocked by this new catalog, honestly. It was very, very hard of a change at first, but now I've got my head around it and I love it. So I think it's going to be better for all parties, but it's a bit of a shock because it's not laid out the way it was before. So it should be just awesome. I love this side of the paper. I have to tell you, on this one, I love it. But because this is purple, I feel like I need to go with this one being, my flowers are upside down. Poopy poop. So guess what? This one we're going to have to do different. We're going to have to go this way and then this way. But then those leaves are upside down. Well, Bev, I guess I didn't think that one through, did I? When I said directional, guess what? I did not think that one through. Oh, well. I figure by the time I put my piece on it, we should be good. So I won't stress too much about it. But these leaves are upside down. And if somebody comments on it, they can give me my card back. Yeah. What did I say? This one's going this way? Yeah. So keep that in mind as you're cutting your cardstock when you go to do this one. I'm not seeing a lot of people posting their cards. It does not. It does not, Bev, and it won't for a little while. They're still working out some details, and they're working with our product designers to build out a robust line. And a lot of the items that will be coming were items that were already in the works and designed and purchased before the announcement. So there's not enough items, so you won't see anything for for a few months, I would imagine. Okay, so wow. Okay, so now I moved my silicone mat and I can feel it because I feel like I have glue all over my desk. Okay, so I'm going to put my adhesive right along here. And I'm going to put my adhesive right along here. And I'm going to close that one up. Just going to run my block along there. I'm going to put my papier in here, like that. And then for this one, I'm actually using, my fingers would work, I'm actually using this hexagon punch. And so what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to actually, because these two are the same size, right? And then I can't layer them because they're the same size. So that's kind of silly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just take my paper snips and I'm going to cut this in half. Now I could have cut it. I'm cutting mine this way, but I could have cut it diagonal as well. And I'm going to stamp on here. I've got glue all over my fingers. And I'm going to go enjoy your day. I think is what I'm going to do. Nah, I'm going to do hello. Just kidding. I'm going to do hello. I am in this thing right now. This, like, I don't know if you guys do this, but I get into these little grooves where I kind of am doing like the same theme. So right now I'm really big into very generic type cards. So like the sentiments are very generic, like a hello, or a thinking of you or whatever. And mostly because I found cards that I absolutely love in my stack. And then they would have like, you know, with sympathy. And I'm like, oh, I need it as a birthday card. I'd make a beautiful birthday card, right? So I'm kind of keeping them more generic now just to make sure that I'm not kind of narrowing my options too much. So I'm going to do this one as a hello, and I'm doing it in the purple. I was going to do it in the Pretty Peacock, but I'm going to do it in the purple. Just gorgeous grape. And it goes up there. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just pop these out. So I'm going to put some glue here, maybe, if my glue cooperates, and some glue here. And then I'm going to pick this baby up, and I'm going to put that about there. And then I'm going to put this about here. And the nice thing about using the Tombow is like you have a minute to decide if you have enough spacing and that kind of thing. Like I feel like okay, we'll take it. I'm not going to complain. All right, you guys are still with me? I'm not talking to myself, am I? Lord knows it wouldn't be the first time. Okay, so I'm going to dimensionals. And actually, I'm going to come over here. And dimensionals. Peel that back. Peel that back. Okay. Now, I do feel like I wanted to put something there. I don't know what. I don't know what. You guys are still with me? Yes? Yes? Okay. Okay. Let's put the cover on my paper snips there. Okay, you guys start voting and I'm going to see what I can find here. I'm looking for my lavender. Becky says 1, 2, and 3. I think that's a good choice. Okay, you guys keep voting. I'm going to look at those in just a second. I'm going to try something here. This is very, very faint, but it's okay. Okay, we're not going to do that. Okay. Did you see that? Yeah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Okay, so I'm just going to grab another piece of white here. Put this back in. Okay, what I wanted to do is not working. Okay, so let me see here. Becky says 1, 2, and 3. Pam says 2, 3, and 1. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 3, and 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and 2, 2, 1, 3. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so I feel like I need to do something on the tops here. But I might do that. I got to think about that. Beverly says 1, 3, and 2. Kathy says she loves them all. 1, 3, and 2. They're very pretty in person, I have to tell you. I don't know if the lighting is paper than your regular card. Well, the only extra paper they need is the fact that it uses one full sheet as opposed to half a sheet. But I think for the right occasion, I think that they're super, super sweet. You are very welcome. Moved over to YouTube. Facebook was freezing. Oh, interesting. Interesting, because I always thought it was Facebook is the one that freezes. So yeah, so this is a super fun, easy card to do. They're all small on your phone, so hard to see. Yeah, I will take pictures of them, and then you can see them. You can zoom in on them a little bit more and see, but they're really, really pretty in person. So give them a try. Marlon says 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, I honestly, I like all of these tonight. I'm not going to lie. They're all very, very pretty. But give them a try. This is just like one of those cards that you send people, and they're like, oh, wow, that's like really cool, right? And you're like, it's not a hard card to make. It's just a different way to fold your paper. So, all right. So we got that done in like less than an hour, right? So you can, if I can do 3 of them in less than an hour, I think you can do them too. So I hope you enjoyed these. So I will be posting my April classes here very shortly, probably in the next day or 2. I have a really busy week this week. Thank you, Beverly. But I'm going to post the April classes, and the coffee and card class is like the first Friday in April, like the 5th, I think. So kind of keep that in your mind if you're interested. I do ask that you please fill out the form, because what happens is that if you tell me or if you comment on a post, I don't always remember. And the first thing I do is I go to the sheet, to the form, and I pull out my numbers that way. And that's how I prep cards and stuff. Okay. Finish it Friday night. Come join me. I will post the Zoom link, so that you can join me. And I hope you will bring something fun to work on and just get caught up with all of us and kind of meet people in person and that kind of thing. All right. Thanks everybody for joining me. Have a fantastic night. Have a fantastic week. And if I don't talk to you Friday night, then have a very, very happy Easter, and we'll chat next week. All right. Bye everybody. See ya.